Welcome back to the English Talks podcast. I'm Sophia, and as always, I'm here with James. Hi, James.
Hi, Sophia, and hello to all our listeners. Today, we have an exciting topic that will help you level up your English. We're diving into the world of phrasal verbs. Sophia, why did we pick this topic?
Well, James, phrasal verbs are everywhere in English. They're such an essential part of the language, but they can also be confusing for learners. So we thought, why not make it fun and explore some common and useful phrasal verbs together? And of course, we want our listeners to share their favorite phrasal verbs too.
Exactly. Let's start with one of my favorites. Give up. It means to stop doing something, like when you quit a bad habit. For example, I gave up drinking soda last year. It's such a useful phrasal verb, don't you think?
It really is. Another one I love is pick up. It has so many meanings. For instance, you can pick up a package from the post office or pick up a new skill like cooking. I once said I picked up Spanish while traveling in Spain and my friends were so impressed.
That's a great example, Sophia. Another one I find interesting is run into. It means to meet someone unexpectedly. For example, I ran into my old teacher at the supermarket last week. It's such a simple yet versatile phrase.
Oh, I love that one. And here's another favorite, look forward to. It means to be excited about something in the future. For example, I'm really looking forward to our next episode. It's such a positive phrase.
Absolutely. And let's not forget turn up. It can mean to increase the volume, like turn up the music, or it can mean to appear unexpectedly, like she turned up at the party uninvited. Isn't English fascinating?
It really is. And breakdown is another useful one. It can mean to stop working, like my car broke down on the way to work, or to become upset emotionally, like he broke down in tears during the speech. Context is everything.
Exactly. And what about get along with? It means to have a good relationship with someone. For example, I get along with my coworkers really well. It's such a positive and relatable phrase.
Definitely. Phrasal verbs are so expressive and practical. They might seem tricky at first, but once you start using them, they make your English sound so natural.
Great point, Sophia. To our listeners, why not try using one of these phrasal verbs today? Pick one and see how you can fit it into a sentence. For example, I'm looking forward to dinner tonight. Practice makes perfect.
Yes, and we'd love to hear from you. What are some phrasal verbs you've learned recently? Share them in the comments. And if you're unsure where to start, grab a list of phrasal verbs and pick a few that catch your eye.
Here's a fun idea. Create a story using as many phrasal verbs as you can. For example, I woke up late, but I picked up my pace and managed to get along with everyone at the meeting. Then I ran into an old friend who turned up unexpectedly. It's a creative way to practice.
That's brilliant, James. And before we wrap up, let's quickly recap some of the phrasal verbs we mentioned today. Give up, pick up, run into, look forward to, turn up, break down, and get along with. Aren't they just so useful?
They really are. Remember, learning phrasal verbs doesn't have to be overwhelming. With a little practice and a lot of fun, you'll master them in no time.
Exactly. Thank you for joining us for this helpful episode of the English Talks podcast. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Let's make learning English enjoyable together.
Yes, and don't forget to share your favorite phrasal verbs in the comments. We can't wait to read your responses.
Take care, everyone, and keep practicing while you learn. See you next time.
All right, folks. Today we're diving into a topic that's not only practical, but also super engaging. Learning English quickly through conversations. You know, when I first started learning languages, I felt like I was trying to drink water from a fire hose. It's overwhelming, right? But I found the best way to learn isn't through textbooks, it's through chatting with real people.
Oh, wow, really? I mean, that's kind of wild. So, you're saying instead of just memorizing vocabulary, we should, focus on the conversations?
Exactly. Think of language learning like building a house. You can have all the bricks, vocabulary, and grammar rules. But unless you have a strong foundation, like conversational practice, that house isn't going to stand tall. For instance, When I lived in Spain, I would just chat with locals at cafes. I remember one time I accidentally said "I love you" instead of "I'd like a coffee" because I mixed up my phrases. It was hilarious.
Haha, that's a huge mix-up. So you're saying that's a good way to learn? Like, making those mistakes in real conversations?
Absolutely. Those mistakes are treasures in disguise, right? Every awkward moment is actually an opportunity to learn. It's like, the more you fumble, the more you remember. And what's funny is that people are usually more forgiving than we think. They get it. We're all human.
That makes so much sense. I mean, it's kind of like when you're a kid trying to ride a bike for the first time, right? You fall a bunch of times, but you get back up?
Yes, perfect analogy. Learning a language can feel like learning to ride that bike. The first few rides, you might crash into a bush or say something completely wrong. But eventually, it starts to click. And then you're off, zipping down the street.
Right. So other than real-life conversations, what's another quick way to practice English? Should I be watching movies or something else?
Ooh, great question. Movies are wonderful, especially when you enjoy them. When I watch movies in a language I'm learning, I focus on the dialogue. You can repeat phrases, imitate the accents, and, even pause to understand. It's like acting without the drama club stress.
Haha, I love that. And I guess, you'd also get to hear slang and expressions that textbooks won't cover.
Exactly. Slang is the secret sauce of any language. Like, you wouldn't want your pizza without toppings, right? Learning current slang makes you feel more connected with native speakers. Just think about it. Where else can you learn what lit or fam really means unless you're in the conversation?
Wow, that's so true. So if someone's just starting out, where do they begin with this whole conversation thing?
Well, a great starting point is finding a language exchange partner. Someone who wants to learn your language while you learn theirs. It creates this wonderful give-and-take dynamic. You can meet on platforms or, even attend local meetups.
Oh, that sounds fun. Like a formalized buddy system for learning. Man, I get so excited thinking about it.
Exactly! And, remember to keep it light and fun. Think of it like playing a game. Feel free to use language learning apps too, but the more you connect with real people, the more real-world experience you gain.
So, how long do you think it'd take someone, casually learning through conversations to get good at English?
Oh, I'd say give it a solid commitment of about 6 months to a year of regular practice. But you know what? Everyone learns at their own pace. Just think about the tortoise and the hare. You want to be the tortoise enjoying the journey, not the hare zooming ahead and burning out?
Haha, I love that. The tortoise and the hare lessons always hit home. So, can we also talk about how to keep motivated through this practice?
Absolutely. Motivation is key. One way is to set small, achievable goals. Like, aim to learn 5 new phrases a week and use them in conversations. Celebrate your wins. And, don't forget to have fun.
Oh, that sounds so doable. Wow, I'm getting pumped to start learning. This is such a great overview.
Glad to hear that. Remember, it's all about immersing yourself in the language, making mistakes, and enjoying the ride. You've got this.
I'm ready to jump into this. I mean, it sounds so thrilling, like a language treasure hunt.
Absolutely. Think of every conversation as digging for that treasure. Each miscommunication, each laugh, it's all part of the adventure.
I'm actually super pumped about the treasure hunt now. Let's get started.
Hi everyone, I'm Sophia. Welcome to today's lesson. We're going to dive deep into an important topic in English grammar, the past simple tense of the verb to be. It's one of the first tenses you'll encounter when learning English, and it's incredibly useful for talking about events that happened in the past. Whether you're talking about where you were, what you did, or how you felt in a previous time, the past simple tense is essential in daily conversation.
Hi, I'm James. Yes, the past simple tense of to be is super important, especially when you're discussing your experiences in the past. It helps us tell stories, describe past situations, and even explain our feelings or conditions at different points in time. We use this tense very frequently, and knowing how to use it properly will improve your communication skills greatly. Today we're going to break down how to use it correctly and provide you with some clear examples to guide you.
Hi, I'm Emily, and I'm here to help you understand and practice these concepts. I'll also be sharing some useful examples so you can see exactly how to use the past simple tense of to be in real life. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get started.
Now, listen carefully to this short conversation between James and Emily. Pay attention to how the words was and were are used to talk about events and situations that happened in the past. These are the key elements of the past simple tense of to be. Let's hear the conversation.
Emily, what were you doing last weekend?
I was at the movie theater on Saturday. I watched a really cool action movie. What about you?
I was with my friends at the park. We were playing football all day.
That sounds fun, James. Was the weather nice?
Yes, it was sunny and warm.
That sounds great. I wasn't outside much because I was inside the cinema all day.
Now that you've heard the conversation, let's break it down and take a closer look at the grammar. Did you notice how was and were are used to talk about things that happened in the past?
Yes, we did. For example, I was at the movie theater and we were playing football are both talking about events in the past. The key here is that was and were indicate past actions or states.
Exactly. And remember, was is used for singular subjects like I, he, she, and it. Were, on the other hand, is used for plural subjects like we, you, and they, or when you're asking questions or forming negative sentences.
That's right. And now that you've seen how was and were work in a conversation, we're going to explain how to use them in more detail. These two words are essential when talking about the past in English, so let's explore them further. Similar to way being taken, sometimes were is created when talking about the past, and it's typically used when talking about the past. So let's focus on the past simple tense of the verb to be. This is a very important part of English grammar. The verb to be is used to describe things that happen in the past. The past forms of the verb to be are was and were.
That's right. Was is used with singular subjects. For example, I was at the mall, he was happy, and she was at the party. In these sentences, we're talking about actions or states that happened at a specific time in the past. So, was is used when we talk about one person, place, or thing.
And we use were with plural subjects and the pronoun you, so you can say you were at the concert, they were at the museum, and we were at the cinema last night. Here, Were is used when referring to more than one person or thing, or when you're addressing someone directly.
Exactly. It's very simple once you understand the basic rule. But there's more to it. What if you want to make a negative sentence? No worries, it's just as easy.
That's right. To make a negative sentence, simply add not after was or were. For example, I wasn't at home, we weren't at school, or she wasn't at the party. The word not changes the statement into a negative one. And if you want to ask a question, just swap the order of the subject and the verb. For example, was he at the party? Or were they happy? Remember, when forming questions, the word order changes. Let's take a moment to look at some more examples. Here's how was and were are used in different situations. I was tired yesterday. Definitely said. You were sad last week? In these examples, we're describing feelings or conditions that occurred in the past. We were in London last year. They were at the restaurant last night. Here is used to describe places where someone was at a particular time in the past. And I was excited for the concert. I was scared during the movie. These examples show how we use was and were to describe how people felt at specific moments in the past.
It's really important to remember that niskes was niskes is used for the pronouns I, he, she, and it, while where is used for you, we, and they.
Right. And don't forget, we use these forms to describe things that happened in the past. It's very simple, and once you get used to it, you'll be able to speak more fluently and naturally.
Now, let's learn some useful vocabulary and time expressions that will help us use the past simple tense more effectively. When we talk about the past, it's common to use specific time expressions to help us reference when things happened. Here are some time expressions. Yesterday, I was at the beach yesterday. Last week /month /year, she was at a party last week. A long time ago, we were in New York a long time ago. In the past, I wasn't very interested in basketball.
These time expressions are key to understanding when something happened. For example, I was at a concert last night gives us a clear indication of when the event took place in the past. Time expressions make our statements more precise and help others understand exactly when we're talking about.
You can also use the word when to ask about past events. For example, when was your birthday? Or when were they at the park? This is a very useful way to inquire about specific events in the past. Let's now talk about films and personal preferences using the past simple tense. Films are a great way to practice discussing past events and experiences. You can describe the movies you watched or share your opinions about them.
For example, last weekend, I was at the cinema with my friends. We were watching a romantic comedy. It was really funny. I hadn't watched a comedy in a while, so it was a nice change.
That sounds fun, Sophia. I was at the cinema last Saturday too, but I was watching an action movie. It was amazing. I love action movies. They're always so thrilling. The special effects were incredible.
I love action movies, but I wasn't a big fan of them when I was younger. I used to watch more animated movies, but now I really enjoy the intensity of action films.
It's interesting how our preferences change over time, isn't it? I used to watch a lot of superhero movies when I was younger, but now I prefer documentaries. I think I've become more interested in learning about real events rather than fictional stories.
Yeah, it's funny how we grow and change our opinions as time passes. Just like when we talk about the past, our likes and dislikes also have a story. It's fascinating to reflect on how much we evolve over the years. Well, that's the end of today's lesson on the past simple tense of the verb to be. We hope you enjoyed it and learnt something new.
We talked about how to use was and were, how to form negative sentences, and how to ask questions. You can now confidently use these forms to talk about where you were, how you felt, and what happened in the past.
That's right. And remember, practice makes perfect. The more you use the past simple tense of to be in your conversations, the easier it will get. Keep practicing, and soon you'll be able to use this tense without even thinking about it.
Thanks for joining us today, everyone. We'll see you next time. Keep practicing and happy learning. Welcome to English Talks Podcast. In this podcast, we discuss different topics every week using simple English to help you improve your language skills. I'm Sophia, and I'm here with you again today. As always, I'm joined by James. James, say hello.
Hello, everyone. I'm here too. Today we'll talk about how families celebrate big holidays like Christmas and New Year. I find this topic really fun because everyone has unique traditions. Also, at the end of today's episode, we'll provide you with a worksheet to practice.
Yes, I'm so excited. Christmas and New Year are celebrated in so many different ways around the world. Today, James will share his family's traditions for Christmas and New Year. But first, James, how's your holiday spirit? Are you feeling festive?
Definitely, Sophia. This time of year is perfect for getting into the holiday spirit. The cold weather, decorating the house, the lights, all of these remind me of the festive season. And of course, giving and receiving gifts. I'm pretty excited, actually.
Right, I feel the same way. So, would you like to talk about some common traditions in England, especially those your family follows for Christmas and New Year? Mhm.
Of course, Christmas is a very special time in England. In my family, we follow the same traditions every year. For example, we decorate the tree, and our house is lit up with lights. The kids write a letter to Santa Claus, listing the presents they'd like to open on Christmas morning. These gifts are usually opened on the morning of December 25th.
That's such a lovely tradition. Do they also get stocking gifts from Santa?
Yes, definitely. In my family, there are two types of gifts. The first is the small stocking gifts from Santa Claus, and the second is the bigger gifts from us. Stocking gifts are always fun.
That's adorable. So, do you still get stocking gifts from Santa, James?
No, I don't get stocking gifts anymore. But we keep the tradition alive for the kids. Do you still get them, Sophia?
Actually, I do. I'm almost 30, but my family keeps this tradition for me.
That's really sweet. But what about your family's traditions, Sophia?
We live in a rural area of England. On Christmas Day, we usually go for a nature walk before lunch. Our meal is quite late, around 3 or 4 o'clock. While turkey is a popular dish, we never eat it.
Really? We don't eat turkey either, which is interesting. So, what do you eat?
Our traditional meal is usually beef or lamb. It's something everyone enjoys. Turkey was never a preference in my house.
That's fascinating. In my house, we usually have chicken or another type of bird. What about New Year's Eve? Everyone celebrates it differently?
For me, New Year's is more about celebrating with friends. I spend more time with family during Christmas. On New Year's, we usually gather with friends, have dinner, dance, and celebrate until midnight. As the clock approaches 12, the countdown begins. In some places, there are even fireworks.
Oh yes, fireworks are very common. The colorful explosions in the sky at midnight, they're truly amazing to see.
Absolutely. Do you make New Year's resolutions? Every year we make some, but it's usually hard to stick to them, right? So,
Say that I usually resolve to eat healthier and exercise more, but I often forget them after a week.
Same here. I make the same resolutions every year, but it's so easy to forget them after a while. I think many people feel the same way.
Exactly. But it's nice to revisit those resolutions with the new hope a new year brings. Now, let's review some of the words we learned today.
A tradition that's something we do every year or have done for a long time.
Festive describes things related to the holiday season that make us feel good. For example, Christmas trees and lights create a festive atmosphere.
New Year's resolutions are promises we make to ourselves to be better in the new year, like living a healthier lifestyle.
And finally, always means every single time. For example, I always spend Christmas with my family.
That's all for today. Enjoy your holidays and have lots of fun.
Have a wonderful time celebrating the new year. We'll cover more topics in the next episode.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. To keep listening to English Talks podcast, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications to stay updated on new episodes, and share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this podcast, recommend it to your friends. It really helps us. Thank you, and see you in the next episode.
All right, let's kick things off with the never-ending question, what actually happens in your house before 8 a.m.? My mornings are a mix of stretching and trying to resist checking my phone. How about you?
I wish mine were that zen. I usually slam the alarm at 7 a.m., then it's straight to the sink to brush my teeth and wake up my face. But honestly, the real moment of peace is that first cup of coffee. Nothing starts till then.
I totally get the coffee loyalty, but for me, it's all about tea. There's something about a warm mug and a quick stretch that makes me feel like I've got my life together, even if I don't. Do you ever try to sneak in any exercise before work?
Honestly, I admire that. But my morning workouts are more like stretching to reach my phone. Once the caffeine kicks in, I'm usually glued to my screen emails, group chats, maybe doom scrolling for a few minutes.
That's relatable. Scrolling can feel like a black hole you look up and half your morning's gone. Then it's breakfast time for me. Fruit and yogurt keeps me going. What's on your breakfast menu?
Mine's a bit less virtuous: bread, cheese, sometimes eggs if I'm feeling fancy. It's basically the whatever I can grab approach, but after that, it's a mad dash to get out the door. When do you usually head off?
Funny you mention the morning rush. My daily race starts when I catch the bus at 8:30. Public transport can be an adventure in itself. Do you drive or are you part of the bus crowd too?
I'm a car commuter, for better or worse. It's just me, my playlist, and a parade of red lights. The drive's about 20 minutes if traffic behaves. Though sometimes I envy bus riders, at least you can chill with a book.
Honestly, sometimes I wish I could just zone out to my own music instead of overhearing everyone else's phone calls on the bus. But hey, at least we both arrive at work more or less alert. Once you're there, does your routine change much?
Not really. Work mode is full-on laptop tunnel vision. Email chains, meetings, endless reports. It's busy, but sitting all day can get exhausting. You ever catch yourself daydreaming at your desk?
All the time. My eyes glaze over halfway through some spreadsheets and I start thinking about lunch. That actually reminds me, ever notice how often we use words like usually or sometimes when talking about our routines?
That's a good catch. Those little words, always, usually, sometimes, never, are everywhere in daily routines. They just sneak into conversation. Like, I always brush my teeth, but I sometimes skip lunch if work gets crazy.
Exactly. I find myself saying, I never drink coffee after 3 p.m. But then every so often, boom, there I am, breaking my own rule. Habit language is sneaky. Why do you think it's so natural to talk this way?
Maybe because life's never 100% predictable. Saying usually or sometimes just covers all those little exceptions, like I usually cook dinner, but sometimes my fridge is basically empty, and it's takeout again.
That's so true, and it makes conversation a lot more real. So, listeners, a little challenge. Try describing your daily habits out loud using those adverbs. Who knows? You might discover something funny about your own routine.
I like that idea. And now that we've survived the workday, what does your afternoon look like once you're off the clock?
After work is when things finally breathe a bit. I usually swing by the grocery store or start dinner, nothing fancy, just pasta or a quick salad. Every now and then, I'll try a new recipe and hope for the best.
That sounds great. I tend to head straight for the gym if I've got the energy. It helps me shake off the computer blues. But there are nights when I just collapse on the couch and binge a show.
Can't blame you sometimes. My cooking dinner turns into ordering pizza and promising myself I'll do better tomorrow. After food, I either watch TV or, if I'm feeling productive, study a bit of English.
Studying in the evening is impressive. I keep telling myself I'll read more books, but more often than not, I'm scrolling on my phone again. Eventually, it's bedtime around midnight for me, though I know I should hit the sack earlier.
Sleep is so underrated. I try to get to bed by 11, but life happens. If I skimp on sleep, the next day is just a struggle. Any tips for winding down at night?
Honestly, I wish I had a magic trick for better sleep, but the basics turn off screens, maybe some light reading do help. Otherwise, I just remind myself how much better I feel after a good night's rest.
That's the dream, isn't it? Good habits, a little self-discipline, and enough sleep to not feel like a zombie. So, to wrap up, mornings are for waking up and finding coffee or tea. Afternoons are all about work or study. And evenings, well, that's when we try to relax.
And let's not forget all those habit words. Always, usually, sometimes, never. They're super handy for describing what we do every day, even if we bend the rules from time to time.
So here's your homework, everyone. Try saying your own routine out loud in English, using those adverbs. It's harder than it sounds, but way more fun than a grammar worksheet.
Can't wait to hear what routines you come up with. Thanks for hanging out with us today, and see you next episode.
Hello, everyone. Quick question. What did you do yesterday?
Yesterday, I watched a movie, I ate some pizza, and I went to the park.
Nice. And if you missed episode 1 about the past tense of to be like I was and we were, please check it out first. It will help you understand today's lesson.
Good point. Because today we are talking about the past simple tense of regular and irregular verbs.
Regular verbs are simple. You just add ed. For example, play becomes played, work becomes worked, watch becomes watched.
Yesterday I played football, I worked in the office, and I watched TV.
Perfect. But some verbs are irregular. They don't follow the rule.
For example, go becomes went, eat becomes ate, drink becomes drank. Yesterday, I went to the park. I ate pizza, and I drank lemonade.
Laughs, you and your pizza. But yes, those are irregular verbs. Here are some more. Have becomes had, see becomes saw, make becomes made, buy becomes bought.
In sentences, I had a great time. I saw my friend. She made a cake. They bought new shoes.
Don't forget negatives. In the past simple, we use did not or didn't. For example, I didn't watch TV. She didn't go to work. We didn't eat breakfast.
And for questions, use did. Did you play football? Did you go to school? Did they buy a car?
The answers are short. Yes, I did. Or, no, I didn't. Now, let's practice together. Listeners, write in the comments. One sentence with a regular verb, one with an irregular verb, and one negative sentence.
Example, I played tennis. I ate pizza. I didn't watch TV.
Perfect. Share your examples. We will read them and maybe use them in the next episode.
And remember, if you haven't watched episode 1, go check it out. It's the foundation for today's lesson.
Yes. And stay tuned for episode 3. We will continue with more past tense practice and fun examples.
Thanks for listening, and see you in the next episode.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Quick question. What did you do yesterday?
Yesterday? I had a busy day. I woke up late, missed the bus, and almost arrived late at work.
Laughs. Oh no. But that's a great example of using the past simple tense. I woke up, I missed, I arrived.
Exactly. Past simple is perfect for telling stories about yesterday, last week, or even last year.
Let me tell you my story. Yesterday, I visited my grandmother. We drank tea, ate cookies, and talked for hours.
That sounds nice. And again, you used the past simple visited, drank, ate, talked.
Right. Regular verbs like visit become visited, talk becomes talked. Irregular verbs like drink become drank, eat becomes ate.
Let's make a mini conversation like storytelling. I'll ask, and you answer. What did you do last weekend?
I went shopping with my friend. We bought new clothes and had lunch together.
Nice. What did you eat?
I ate pasta and she ate pizza.
Perfect examples. And listeners, notice. We use did to ask questions. What did you do? What did you eat?
And in the answers, we use the past form. I went, I ate. Not I did go or I did eat. Just I went, I ate.
Right. But negatives use didn't. For example, I didn't go shopping. I didn't eat pizza.
Let's try one more. Did you watch TV yesterday?
No, I didn't. I read a book instead.
That's a great answer. Okay, let's summarize for our listeners. Use past simple to tell stories about the past. Use regular verbs like visited, talked, and irregular verbs like went, ate, drank. Use did for questions and didn't for negatives.
And now it's your turn. Write in the comments, what did you do yesterday? Tell us a short story in 3 sentences.
Great idea. We'll read your answers and maybe share some in episode 4.
And if you missed episodes 1 and 2, go watch them. They'll help you understand today's lesson better.
Yes! And stay tuned for episode 4, where we'll practice even more storytelling with the past tense.
Thanks for listening, and see you next time.